about kindness, modesty. I'm wife to Aaron Soto. We've been pastoring for 15 years at Appleton and at ATC on the road. ATC people. I'm mother to Blake, Braylon, and Bryson, and I'm mother-in-law to the beautiful Nicole, who's married to Blake. And I could not be more excited to share this session. This is like really weird sounding. Does it sound like I'm somewhere in the universe to you? Yeah. Okay. My brother-in-law always sounds, so I leave it over here. All right, so I'm excited to share this session with my mother, Sister Soto, and my beautiful Nicole. They are wonderful examples of godly Christian women. This is like really crazy, annoying. Sorry. But I am just honored to share the session again with them, and we're representing different age groups. I represent the 40s, and I am 47. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to tell you just like it is. I'm very practical people. I'm a very practical person, and we're all very practical. So, timeless modesty takes effort. Tell your neighbor, timeless modesty takes effort. So the very word effort means vigorous, determined challenge. Does that sound familiar? It's not just you going into Walmart and picking up the first thing you see. How many of you have been standing in the store and you're like, there's nothing here to wear? Perseverance and determination is the key, ladies. Perseverance and determination. Ecclesiastes 9:10, whatever you do, do well. 1 Corinthians 6:19, do you know that your bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, who you received from God? You are not your own. So we represent the King, right? We represent Jesus. It's our signature, who we are. It's our armor, right? What we're wearing. I just thought that was so cool today. So today we're working on how do you perfect your armor, right? Have you ever heard the word simple? Have you ever heard the statement, simple is hard? Yeah. It's true. It takes a lot of work to make something look like it's not work. So today, my sweet Nicole, we were like, what are we wearing today? What are we wearing today? And she had to change a few times, didn't you? Because it's just work sometimes. So we're just going to share a couple tips of what we do. It's not the Bible, but I just want to try to help you out and just give you a few ideas. So first thing that I'm going to talk about is your closet. So, maybe your closet's small. How many of you got a small closet? Yep. How many of you got tax returns in your closet? Or dresses from 20 years ago? Yes. So I want you to try to get those coats out. Your winter coats do not need to be in your closet that you get dressed in every day. Your dresses from when you went to college don't need to be in there. You should organize it by seasons. Put your winter in when it's winter. Put your summer in when it's summer. Organize your skirts, your shirts, your dresses. I put it according to color. Now this is effort, ladies. This is work. But there's a reason. My mother-in-law has the most amazing closet. She has a dressing room, actually. And I'm hoping to convince, she said she'd do this. We're going to do a little interview in her closet, and we'll put it on Facebook for all of you. So, you looking for that? So organizing your closet doesn't mean it has to be expensively organized. How many of you have seen magazines in these closets are like incredible? Like, wow, your dresses are behind glass and shoes all organized. But you can just go to Walmart, pick up some plastic containers, beautiful baskets, organize your scarves, your belts, your hats. I even think it'd be cool to paint your closet color. So if you think about it, this is the first place you go in the morning. Okay, maybe not, after the bathroom. If you're over 40, you're getting up really early to go to the bathroom. But then you're going to your closet. So I have in my closet pictures of places I've been that just inspire me, make me have happy thoughts, maybe put some things on the walls that are just positive scriptures. I even pray in my closet. So I think that you should have a closet that you like, because if you don't like it, you avoid it. And we can't avoid it. This is important. We represent Jesus. So the next thing I'm going to, last thing. I do not share my closet with my husband. Right? He organizes differently than I do. So I would highly recommend get your own space, even if it's not in your bedroom. Grandma's is not in her bedroom. She has a different space in the house that is just for her. I know she prays in her closet too. Mm-hmm. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is preparing for timeless modesty. Timeless modesty happens when we do best with what we have. Okay? So think about what you're going to wear to Ladies Retreat, or especially Sundays. Don't get up in a rush and just think you're going to look amazing. When you get up 10 minutes before you got to go, you have to think about it the night before. So Sunday is a lot. I'll go in my closet and I'll look and I'm like, okay, what's the weather? Does that fit? Does that match? Sometimes I'll even send a picture to a friend. Does this look right? Sometimes you have to try multiple things on, which is such a pain, I know. But you need to do it, it matters. So my daughter, she just hated trying on clothes when she was younger, and she'd get so frustrated with me. And I take her shopping, and she would want to try it on. I'm like, we're not buying it unless you try it on. So you have to try it on. Another thing, you have to have a full-length mirror. It's a must. You must see all of you at the same time. Have you ever seen someone and you thought, not sure she saw all of herself today? Okay. Last thing we're going to talk about is knowing your shape. I know this is a little sensitive, but we have to face the facts. It is what it is, right? COVID-20, whatever it was, I didn't make too many cookies myself. I know sometimes when I try so hard, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go for more walks. This is nothing. So, there's 5 basic, I give you the little handouts, have the 5 basic body shapes. And the first one is the oval shape. This is a fuller, all-around figured person. So you maybe want to stay away from large prints or stripes. Small prints are good. You probably don't want to wear a lot of ruffles with this body shape. The second shape is the triangle shape. The upper body is smaller and the bottom half is fuller. When you have a triangle shape, you might want to wear a pattern on the top or a flared skirt with A-lines. The third shape is the owl shape. The top and bottom measure close to each other. Your waist is small. So this shape is probably one of the hardest ones to not wear clothes that are too tight, because stuff doesn't fit right, because your waist is so small. So you do want to notice your waist, but not, a lot of times you have to get it tailored because your waist, your skirt doesn't match. So, or just wear things that are A-lined. It's hard to, you have to kind of achieve balance in that shape. Fourth shape is the inverted triangle. This person who is bigger on the top and their lower part is smaller and maybe even flatter on the bottom. You might want to consider wearing patterns on the bottom and loose fitting on the top, and maybe some ruffles on the bottom. The fifth shape is rectangle. That's me. I'm just straight up and down. So I have to I wear a lot of A-line because then it makes me look like I'm shape and I'm not straight up and down. So how do you find your shape? With a measuring tape. So I would just encourage you all to figure that out. You probably already know, I'm guessing. And don't be discouraged. You're up for the challenge. It's important. And you represent Jesus. You're a daughter of the King. So treat yourself like a daughter of the King. If you dress in clothes that make you feel confident and you feel good, then you're happier. You exude Jesus better when you feel confident and that you're a daughter of the King. So my mother-in-law is coming to share her tips now.
Good afternoon. My name is Rose Soto. I am the family pastor at Apostolic Truth Church in Appleton. I am here to share some suggestions for the foundations of your wardrobe, what you wear under your clothes. But first, I would like to address women of my age group. I have been a member of the human race for 73 years. So I didn't really tell you my age, I just told you how long I've been on this earth. If you have noticed, I'm addressing my age group. If you have noticed a great change in the shape of your body, and you're not pregnant, and if you no longer resemble your high school yearbook picture, you may have evolved into an elegant, seasoned, mature, matronly lady. We're just getting old. Our bodies, faces, and lifestyles have changed over the decades. Please allow me to offer a few basic tips to fight frump and look sharp, well-dressed, and appropriate for your age. First, embrace the season of life you are in. I receive flowers for special occasions, but after a week or so, they wither and die. Plants, animals, and yes, even humans have a season when they wither and die. Hebrews 9 tells us, it is appointed unto man once to die. Death, we know, is inevitable, but it's the withering process that we fight against. Okay. In Titus 2, we are instructed to teach young women. I'm speaking to my age group. We are instructed to teach young women in 1 Timothy 4:12, we are admonished to be thou an example, being that someone to look up to. But if we refuse to look and act our age, who will the next generation of apostolic women look up to? Unfortunately, many women look up to the younger generation in fashioning themselves to be like them. Okay, timeless fashion for my age group again. Now a few words. Keep your outfits uncluttered. Less is best. Stay away from too much bling, loud prints, and trendy teeny bopper fashions. We don't want to look ridiculous. Dress your age. Fashionable and elegant clothing never go out of style. A soft lace, a colorful scarf, and maybe, look at my outfit, it's kind of plain, but maybe a cute purse will make an outfit pop. Jewel tones, such as turquoise, cobalt blue, ruby red, and emerald green are all colors that look good on every skin tone. Comfortable shoes. Comfortable shoes keep us sure-footed. Our age group, we need to be sure-footed because if we fall down, it takes a long time to recover. Flats are fine with casual dress, and if possible, wear a low heel or a wedge shoe for dress up. Higher heels can be worn if you dare. Think comfort and safety. Be generous when purchasing well-made, comfortable shoes. It's worth the investment. And if your hair is thinning, try some different hairstyles with that special product in that bag back there. Give your hair a rest on the days spent at home. Wear it down or loose with no hairspray. Just let your hair down. If you have dry hair, an oil treatment every now and then keeps your silver strands looking shiny and healthy. And now for some straight talk about undergarments, underwear. I'm addressing every age demographic right now, so everybody, listen up. Are you awake? What you wear under your clothes can make or break an outfit. Earlier, I have done this before. I put a little piece of strand of stuff right here. And a lot of women, oh, you got something right there. Oh, thank you. I put it back. A lot of people saw that. Why is it that our eyes automatically go to these moving parts? We just naturally look there. When somebody goes up an aisle, that's, wow. Our eyes automatically focus on those delicate moving parts. I'm talking about panty lines and bouncy back bumpers. If you choose to wear snug-fitted clothing, do us all a favor. Please smooth out those parts with some type of shapewear. You can also wear a long top that extends over those behind-the-scene areas. A slip will keep your clothing looking nice during those days of static cleaning or when passing by a sunny doorway. Have you ever seen that? No slip, go by a sunny door, there you are. Every lady should have a full-length mirror so you before everybody else does. Okay, good posture and a good fitting bra are other things that will enhance the way you present yourself. This is so important for our more mature grandmas, aged ladies. I've gone through several types of bras myself, and I finally found one that keeps these little girls up. The greatest and most important foundation you possess is the standard of holiness that you embrace. It's the base of all your wardrobe decisions. What you wear and what parts of your body remain covered are all decided by the standard that you embrace. We are a royal priesthood, an ambassador for our King, a light to the world, and your clothes make a statement to those around you. Wear clothes that glorify the name of Jesus and your church family. Represent Jesus to the world by looking your best. Thank you.
Okay, hello, nice to meet you. My name is Nicole, and I'm the wife of Blake Soto. We serve on the ministry team at Apostolic Truth Church, and I work full-time as a project manager in the corporate world, so I kind of have that background. And I'm honored to stand here beside my beautiful mother-in-law and my timeless grandmother-in-law. I have loved clothes for my entire life, and I distinctly remember being so inspired by my maternal grandmother and just watching what she would wear as a Christian apostolic woman who just dressed so beautifully with this very distinct style and flair. I recall her having crisp white blouses and high-waisted skirts and pointed-toed shoes and a lot of double-breasted blazers. You see me today or yesterday, you can tell I really like a high-waisted skirt and a double-breasted blazer. And I will never forget her incredible skincare routine, her mirrored brass perfume tray, and just all the little details that made her so cool to me. And it makes me laugh when I realize how many of those little details I've incorporated into my own personal style over the years and into my own wardrobe. And I just say all this to remind you that the younger generations are watching you in every aspect of your life. And yes, that includes even what we wear. What we do, how we dress, they will eventually follow suit. So, I have a few style tips that I strictly live by that I just want to share with you today. So the first thing is to tailor your clothes. I started going to the tailor very early on in my teen years due to the fact that I've always been really tall, and I used to be about this big, this big, like where you're seeing your bones and stuff. And so my mom always had a really difficult time finding stuff to fit me because I've been this tall since I was about 12. So very few things fit me off the rack, and my body shape, just for reference, is kind of a small hourglass. So I always have to be conscious that my waist is my smallest part and the rest of me is a completely different size. So each body shape represents its own challenges, and my shape is no different. I typically gravitate towards dresses and skirts that are belted at the waist and flare out. However, if I do wear a pencil skirt, I always get it tailored. I buy a skirt that's about 2 sizes bigger than my waist, and then I have to get it tailored in. So my waist is the smallest part of me, and so when I try to wear pieces that accentuate that. So in keeping with what Grandma has shared about knowing your shape, and Heather has shared about knowing your shape, it's so important to know what your shape is and what your best features are, and to try to highlight those. So find a good tailor who you trust. I had a tailor in Michigan that I went to for about 10 years. She was very reliable. I trusted her. And now I have a new tailor in Wisconsin, and it only costs about $10 to $15 to take in the waist zone. So if you're going to buy something when you're shopping, just factor the cost of tailoring into the price. If you're good at sewing, you can also do it yourself. It's not hard. I used to do it, and then I got a little bit lazy, and now I'm like, $15, I'll just have someone else do it. So if you can, do it yourself. Grandma Soto takes in a lot of her clothes and does different alterations. She'll add lace to the bottom of things, or she'll sew up a slit. Sewing up a slit is very easy. So just don't be afraid of tailoring. Embrace that part of personal modesty. The second thing I would share with you is finding your personal style. I've always had a really distinct personal style, but early on in my tween and teen years, when you're just dealing with middle school and drama and everyone's prettier than you and you're just awkward, I would just buy things that I didn't really like to help make other people like me and try to, get them to like my style and just wear what everybody else was wearing. But as I got closer to graduating high school, I became a little bit more confident and started dressing to what was my taste. And I love that 1950s old Hollywood style, so think like Audrey Hepburn or Grace Kelly, that's what I love. And so I love classic pieces that stand the test of time with a little bit of an edge. So my biggest piece of advice today is dress according to your own personal style and not to what you think is currently in. So right now, a big current trend for my generation is dressing in 1990s. Raise your hand if you've seen the chunky dad tennis shoes. They're back, unfortunately. So if that's your style, though, you go ahead. So square sunglasses, chunky dad tennis shoes, baggy clothes, kind of grungy, like that's really in right now. And that's just not me. And it's never going to be me. And so I personally stay away from that. I also stay away from a lot of prints other than like stripes, because that tends to date your wardrobe very quickly. Prints date really quickly. So unless you want to just continually buy stuff, it's really smart if you're going to invest in a piece to invest in like solid prints. Or solid pieces, I should say. So I continue to dress in a way that speaks to who I am rather than who culture informs me that I should be. God created you to be uniquely you, so He gave you specific personal taste, and that's okay. Celebrate that. I have a friend who came to Jesus and came into the apostolic faith around the time that she graduated high school, and first, she pretty much just wore everything that I wore, and that was okay. She was finding her footing and modesty and trying to figure out what would work together. But over the last several years, she's found her style, and her style voice is exclusively vintage. She sources all vintage things, and she has the coolest style. I love it. It's not me, but it perfectly represents her. And earlier on, I mentioned that my grandmother was a huge inspiration for me in terms of personal style. But not everybody has a really cool, beautiful grandmother or grandmother-in-law. So find somebody who you can emulate, find somebody who you connect with and who you see their style and you're like, oh, that's really cool how they put that together. And try to emulate them until you can find your own voice. And then lastly, just remember who we represent. So we represent the King. Well, this is something I think we've heard a lot, and we've already heard it today. I think it's worth mentioning again. 2 Corinthians 5 and verse 20 says this, so we are Christ's ambassadors. God is making His appeal through us. So let's think about the weight of that statement for a moment. As an ambassador, you are representing one kingdom to another kingdom. So as the U.S. ambassador to France, you're representing who the United States is, our culture, our laws, everything about the United States to France, for example. And in the same way as ambassadors of Christ, we are representing the kingdom of God to the kingdom of this world. We are living, breathing examples of Jesus Christ in every aspect of our lives. And that includes how we dress. Especially if you work outside the home and you're constantly confronted with people of who are not living in the same kingdom that we are living in. We are ambassadors to those people in every aspect of our lives. I think it's interesting that the word ambassador in Webster's dictionary is a synonym to the word minister. As ambassadors of Christ, we are ministering in the way that we talk, in the way we interact with others, in the way that we treat others, and even in the way that we dress. So how we choose to represent the King matters. And now we're just going to go into a quick Q&A portion. So we're going to just do a couple of frequently asked questions that people ask us all the time. So I think the first one, if I'm correct, is where do you buy your clothes?
I love thrift stores. I bought a dress. I'll tell you a little story about my thrift store experience. I just was in a shop and my granddaughter was getting married, and I really wasn't looking for an outfit to wear to the wedding as the grandma, but I saw something on this thing and I pulled it out. It was just beautiful, bright color, everything. And it happened to be Senior's Day, 50% off. And it was $5. So I took it to the register, 50% off, $2.50. So, yeah, I got it, wore it, and every time I do wear it, people say, "Where did you get that dress?" And I didn't know what you were believers. Thrift store. I also shop at Kohl's, and I have a wonderful brother-in-law who buys me nice, fancy clothes. And Cracker Barrel. Go to Cracker Barrel.
I kind of look everywhere. I'll just run in a store, Cracker Barrel, everywhere. Amazon. I have bought several pieces of clothes off Amazon. Macy's has amazing sales. I run straight to the sale racks in every store. It just takes a lot of looking, I think. So we look online, I know, I'll just glance at the sales on different brands and, oh hey, that dress is only $30, I'm gonna get that. That's kind of how I shop.
I shop a lot on Poshmark, which is, basically an online thrift store for people who are my age. But I pretty much get everything from there. I love to shop certain brands that I know are going to fit me really well, and I already know my size. And another thing that we forgot to mention is that know your measurements so that when you're online shopping, you know which size to get. So yeah, I get most things off Poshmark or sales sections at Nordstrom, different places like that. Amazon weirdly has a lot of good clothes. Another frequently asked question is, what to do with green hair?
Well, keep it. And of course, keep it. But of course, take care. I learned a lot of things today from our hair thing. I use oil treatment every once in a while when it gets brittle and dry. I like my silver strands to shine. So find some products that you aren't allergic to. And I don't like a lot of heavy scents because it gives me headaches. So find something that works for you, and again, keep it.
And then I think the last piece of advice that Grandma had was there's a website where you can find which colors look best for your skin tone, like it's a little test. So you should go online and look at that and figure that out, because that will help you determine what types of things you should be wearing. And then take a look at the body shape, postcard handout, and just kind of maybe take some time tonight and look at your measurements and figure that out with a tape measure, and it will really help you a lot when you're picking out clothes.
Amen.
You're dismissed.